Today I am going to do book reviews. This is going to be fun because these are some of the books that I've read and I have taken a lot from them, and who I am today are decided by these books. So every book has its own flavor, and I'd also like to mention how important reading books is. I would not say that books are the only way to get knowledge or learn something, but definitely it's one of the exciting ways, because when you read a book, you get into the author's mind. It's like you adopting a completely different personality, that character of that author, onto yourself. It's like downloading a game onto your system, which will help you bounce in life. So let's get started. um, what do I start with? Okay, so I think I'll go chronologically because it helps me narrate this much more faster. This is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Oh my god, this is the most practical book for anyone who wants to be productive. If you have goals in life and you want to achieve them, he gives a proper roadmap to how you can do it. But downsides to it is that I feel that he has asked us to set a goal and divide it into smaller parts and make it actionable, but sometimes it is not very practical to do that for some people, maybe, and then maybe you'll not be able to follow through. But just reading this gives you a lot of insights about how a goal is broken down. So that I should give this to the book. And the simple concept about this book is that you always prioritize and eat the ugliest frog first thing in the morning, right? So when you get the toughest job done, the half of the work is done, and most of your success comes from 20% of the work that you do, like the top priority works. Others 80%, it doesn't matter, and thus that can be delegated or ignored or procrastinated. So this is the book. Definitely read, a must read if you want to be productive. I read this book multiple times because I knew that it is going to be helpful, and some of it I'm going to forget. So definitely a must read. If you want to be productive, if you want to achieve your goals and go in a systematic method, Brian Tracy gives you that pathway, and it also helps you how you can deal with procrastination and whatnot. So really nice. Don't lose your mind, lose your weight. It's by Rujuta Diwekar, who has been a dietitian to Kareena Kapoor. जब वो टशन कर रही थी, तब उन्होंने ऐसे वेट लूज किया था, तो इसका मेंशन लास्ट में होता है. तो ओके, दिस बुक इज I think it's a perfect guide for someone who is exercising and people who are not able to follow a certain diet. It gives you practical ways on how you can do it. It has 4 rules. It is a very good guide on how you can lose weight easily. I have not completely been able to follow this, but I am trying to, and I think this gives you a very good insight on how food must be consumed in the first place. So it's a really good one for someone who doesn't know A to Z, nothing of food. I do exercise regularly. I exercise but I do not know how to eat right. So this is the book that will teach you how to eat right. Forget about losing weight. Eating right is really important, and this book shows you that, and it talks about how you can get into the natural rhythm of understanding your digestive system, and that in itself is amazing. Like, I think the general approach to eating is whether before eating something you calculate whether your body wants this or not. So your body already knows, so you get in the rhythm of feeding it right. So that's what this book is about. amazing book by Rujuta Diwekar, and she has an Instagram page as well. I really appreciate her sharing her knowledge with us, and it's a great book. It's a great book. But have I lost weight? I've not followed her rules properly. It's almost hard to do that, but I'm definitely sure if I follow it, I will get the results. And let's see, I might make another video if this has helped me. 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty. I bought this book when before getting married, and I thought this book will help me manifest the love of my life. But before even reading this book, I found my partner. I think I was already manifesting, and I did get married to him, and I'm so glad that I did. And this book was a little boring, to be honest. Jay Shetty is a little bit overrated, but I love his podcast. I love his short reels. But books, I think it's a bit too lengthy for me and too idealistic. I wish it was shorter and more practical. I mean, it is practical, but it's more philosophical than practical. So I think it's just not about manifesting love. It's about how to live a good single life and how to live a good married life, and beyond marriage, how do you feel complete on your own. I think that would be the goal of this book. I really love this book. Once, I think it also talks about how you can give in a relationship, and that is really, really important in any kind of a relationship. And I think it's a very beautifully intentioned book. That's why I would recommend you to read it. But if you're looking for practical ways to live a happy love life and all of that, then this is not your book. Or if you want to manifest someone, then this is not your book as well. This is for more containment in a relationship and life in general, as a single and as an old person and as a married person. So a very wholesome book, I'd say. So that was my take on this book. Okay, so we have You Happier. I bought this from a random medical shop shelf, and this is a really good one. I always think about what are some ways I could become more positive, and this is that book that made me a bit more positive, understand my own self and become more positive. The most surprising thing about this book is that it tells you 5 types of brain. It helps you understand your own brain type. So I think I'm fully convinced by the categories that it explained, and it specifically mentions the supplements and the type of food that you can eat if you want to improve the type of brain type that you are. I think that is life changing, because people think that okay, if you have mental issues, it's something to do with your brain, but you can also rectify it by eating the right food. And there are very much examples that he has mentioned where people have changed their lives just by taking certain supplements. So this is a really good one. I wish people know a lot about it, so hence I am recommending this. And just the title caught my eye, and it was a total synchronicity or serendipity kind of a moment when I bought this book. It was totally worth it. It helped me understand my brain. I am the sensitive brain, so it helped me understand my brain. And yeah, that was about this book. Why has nobody told me this before? So it is by Julie Smith. She is an Instagrammer and she makes amazing content. I think one of the most amazing ways she explains her concepts of psychology, and I really love that, and she is a practitioner herself. This book was life-changing for me because I thought that mental health is something that happens within our brain, and if I'm feeling uncomfortable, then it is something that is more internal, like I'm feeling bad about something. But this book awakens people and tells that maybe it could be the smallest inconvenience that is happening in the environment. Look at the temperature, look at how someone spoke to you or what you ate. All these factors affects your moods. The title definitely speaks for itself. I wish I had why has nobody told me this before? Because she reveals some things that generally people do not know, and you will appreciate knowing this. So definitely a must read. Ichigo Ichie. This is one of the amazing books that I've ever read. This is amazing. Like, I consider myself to be a sad person, but when I read this book, I became the happiest one. Like, if we forget the world and focus on the present moment, it talks about how you can enjoy the present moment and make the most of life. And I really appreciate reading this book. Just owning this book will change the aura of your house, like for real. And it's a kind of book that you want to read again and again, you know. So a really good vibes book. I don't know about Ikigai, but this one is by the same author, and Ichigo Ichie is one of my favorite books. Come as you are. Shh, do not talk about sex. It's mostly for women, and it also has this purse that looks like a vagina. So, okay, come as you are tells you that your body is perfect just as is. If there is no pain in your body or something like that. And also, what I really appreciate about this book is that it talks about how you can be a responsive kind of a person during sex, as in you need not initiate every time, you can just respond to the sex that you're getting, and that's completely normal. And people who want to get away from stress want to have more sex, or there are people who are stressed and hence they don't want to have sex. So there are two types. I'm really glad that someone took the time to write this, and I felt so natural, and I felt like I already knew all of this. I never felt that this was something new, because I think sometimes you need to state the obvious for some people to accept their own bodies. So this was that. I really love this book. I think all women will know that they're extremely normal, but I will not say that this book made me come or something like that. But it really did help me understand body and my sexual relationship with my husband. So a good one. Creative confidence. Okay, I will be honest, I did not like the overall tone of the book, because they were a bit of it is not in a very lenient language. It's in a bit more medium level language, I would say. I mean, I'm an Indian native, so I did not find this very comfortable to read, but the content, it's amazing. So that's the word for it. I really love how it's written and composed, and in the end they give a lot of tips on how you can increase your creative confidence, and they've given multiple tons of examples on how people thought out of the box, and they were creative and they were confident in what they were creating. And I think there are a lot of takeaways from this book. Definitely, if you are a creative and if you want confidence, this is it. This also talks about failure, how you gotta fail a lot to be able to succeed, and all of that. So I really think it's an amazing book. Yep, thank you. So these were my books. I really love reading. What keeps me going is reminding myself why reading is important. For me, reading is important because I want to be that 1% of leaders, and also, like, I think the most selling point of reading is that you simply download the other person's brain, some part of their brain, the knowledge that they have accumulated over years, and it's priceless. It's like I'm mostly an ambivert. I don't talk to people a lot except for my closest ones maybe, but then just reading books makes me feel like I've met so many people and I have downloaded their knowledge into me. Like, I don't think watching a video can do this, only if you're like extremely attentive. But when you read a book, you're reading like a chapter each day and you're in the loop of thinking in the direction of what the author is saying to you. So I think that's the most important part of reading a book. And there are like connections happening in your brain when you're reading a book. So I wanted to give review of all of these books because I really uh, want to share this with the world. Yeah, so I hope you had fun watching this video. I'm really glad that you were here watching this till now. And yeah.